videos. This one is for helping you with con, dividing, fraction, word problems. So some of the things we're going to talk about today in order to help you solve problems involving fraction division is how you can know how to write the problem from the situation, things to look for. Then we'll follow our process of converting all numbers into fractions. So write out our division problem, convert it into fractions if they're not already there, and then write an equivalent multiplication problem and multiply, which we call multiplying by the reciprocal, and then reduce and simplify. And con does want these all reduced and simplify. It'll take it in either improper or mixed number, but it does want the answer simplified. So we're going to work through these as we go through these few problems. Let's go ahead and look at our first one here. So Nicole is playing a video game where each round lasts 7/12 of an hour. She is scheduled for 3/4 hours to play the game. How many hours can Nicole play? Or how many rounds can Nicole play? So there's a couple things you want to look for when you're doing these. First of all, almost all of them are going to involve some kind of total. And then they're going to be splitting that total by something. So in this case, our total is, this is our total right here. Okay, so almost all of them are going to involve some kind of total. And then this key is, this is the round. Okay, so she has this much time, and then each round lasts. So if we take the total and divide it by how long a round lasts, that'll tell us how many rounds she can do it. So our original division problem would be 3 3/4 of an hour divided by 7/12 of an hour. So there's our original division problem. Then we're going to write that using fractions because we have a mixed number here and we want to get rid of that. So remember, we multiply, so 4 times 3 is 12 plus this, because that tells us there are 12/4 in the three holes out here. So 12/4 plus 3/4 would be 15/4. So that equals 15/4 divided by 7/12. Now, once you get to that point, then you're going to write your multiplication problem. So again, we use 15/4. Remember, the way to help us remember this is keep it. So the first one stays the same. Change to multiplication because we're multiplying by the reciprocal, and then flip it. So multiplying by the reciprocal is 12/7. Okay. So then we would multiply that across, and we would end up with, I know 5 times 12 is 60, and 10 times 12 is 120, so I end up with 60 plus 120, which would give me 180 up on top, and I end up with 4 times 7, which is 28 on the bottom. Now the thing I realize here is those are both even, so 2 will definitely go into those, so I'm going to at least reduce them by 2, divide them both by 2, divide them both by 2, because we need to simplify these, so half of 180 would be 90, and half of 28 is 14. Now those are both still even, so I got to divide them by 2, which means 4 would actually went into both those. So divide them by 2 again, and that is half of 90 is 45, and half of 14 is 7. So I end up with 45/7, so it would take that. But usually if it starts with a mixed number, we should end it with a mixed number, because 45/7 hour doesn't make much sense. So we want to take that in there, and 7 goes into 45 6 times, which is 42. So we'd have 6 3/7 of an hour. And again, you could enter in the 45/7, but if we're entering in a mixed number, we 6 space and then 3/7 is how we enter that into con. But it will take either one of these as long as it will simplify. If you enter in the 180/28 or 90/14, it'll say almost there. It usually won't mark it wrong, but it will give you a warning that you are not simplified. So again, identifying, setting up our equations, writing it as just a fraction division problem, then we change it to a multiplication, multiply by the reciprocal. We're going to be doing that with all these. So let's look at our next problem here, okay? The swimming pool is open for 7.5 hours during the day. The pool keeps a lifeguard on duty at one lifeguard on duty at a time, and each lifeguard shift is 1.5 hours long. So again, we have a total. So again, here's our total. And here is what we're dividing it by, because this is what each shift is. And one of the key things here, we're looking for shifts down here. Often that's what you're going to be dividing by, is what these end up with by our shifts here, okay? So we end up with the total of 7.5 hours divided by 1, because we want to know how many 1/2 hour shifts there are in 7.5 hours. So again, we can take that and change it into our fraction times and add, so that'd be 14, 15. So you end up with 15 halves divided by, so that'd be 2, 3 halves. Okay, and then let's change it to our multiplication problem now. So again, 15 halves, first fraction does not change. And you can't switch the order of these fractions. A lot of people want to do that. So we end up with 15 times now the reciprocal of this, which is 2/3. So 2 times 15 is 30. And 2 times 3 is 6. So we end up with 36. And that's just basically 30 divided by 6, which is 5. So there is enough for 5 shifts in that one. So we can end up doing 5 shifts. So that's what you can do there. So that one went out evenly. Again, if you try to put in 36, it would not work. You have to take it out evenly. So again, writing our original division problem, changing it to just fractions, from mixed numbers to fractions, then writing our multiplication problem, our equivalent multiplication problem, where we multiply by the reciprocal. Again, we flip the fraction here, and then multiplying it out and simplifying it. Okay, let's try another one here. So Stephen uses 2/25 kilograms of tofu in each serving of his famous tofu dish. He has 1 1/10 kilograms of tofu. How many servings can he make? So again, we have a total here, don't we? This is how much he has. And this is what he uses for each. So this is what he uses. So it's going to be what he has divided by what he uses to figure out how many he can make. So 1 1/10 divided by, because we want to know how many times the serving sizes go into that, 2/25. So let's go ahead and write that out. 2/25 is already fraction. So 10 times 1 is 10 plus 1, so that would be 11 tenths divided by 2/25. Okay, and then our equivalent multiplication problem, multiplied by the reciprocal, would be 11 tenths times the reciprocal of this, which would be 25/2. So again, reciprocal, that flipped fraction, and we multiply straight across. So 2 times 25 times 10 would be 250. 25 times 1 would be 25. So we end up adding those together. 250 plus 25 would be 275 over 20. Now right there, we can tell 5 will go into both those, so we can divide them both by 5. Divided both by 5. Now you may know some other tricks for reducing this, but I'm not worried about that right now. So when we divide that by 5, we're going to end up in, so 275, 5 is going to go into that 5 times, 25, minus that down, we get a 2, 5 again, so it's going to go in there 55 times, isn't it? So that would equal 55 over, and then 20 divided by 5 is just 4. So that would be 55/40, which is an okay answer to put in there. But if you're cooking, 55/40 doesn't make much sense. So we would take that down to a mixed number. So let's divide that out. So 55. So 4 is going to go into that one time. So 4, carry that down, minus that. So we're going to end up with drop a 5 down. So we get 15. So 3. So that would be 12. Minus down, we're going to end up with 3. So we end up with, it goes in there 13 and 3/4 is what you would have for that. So again, we could put it in 13, then we put a space, 3/4 is how you would enter that in. All right, so I'm going to leave it there. So again, you have a total on almost all these and something you're dividing it by. So go ahead, work through these. Let me know if you have any questions. Good luck and have a good day. Bye.